Hello there again. You know, I made a comment in a video, I think, about a union of 50 nation states. Now that's what the Constitution actually set up. If you go looking through, you study, you pay attention, you remove all of the corruption that all of these politicians and lawyer type fellers and stuff and all these corporations that paid to have, well, them lobbyists back there, they're paid to get there and convince people that are supposed to be representing people in their own jurisdictions, but they're not. They're representing the big money lobbyists, corporations, etc., etc. Now, I always say, and you'll hear me, those two parties, that Democratic National Party, that Republican National Party, they are mobs. Pure and simple. Like the old boys that was in New York City and other places, Kansas City, organized crime, etc., etc. And they've got crime bosses that are sitting there, as I say, pulling them marionette strings and making them dance. And it's all about the money, the power, and the glory. Well, that's not the way it's supposed to be. Because that union, it's just like any union. I had a friend that was an electrician all his life. He joined the electrical union as an apprentice when he was young. He spent his time as an apprentice, got to be a journeyman electrician, and he worked on stuff. He worked on Alaska pipeline when they were building that. He worked on high power stuff on them poles and that, 40-something thousand volts and that. He did all that kind of stuff. Well, when he got old, couldn't do as much, and he retired from the electrical union, but he still did electrical jobs, work. I worked with him in construction. He was a friend. I knew him in the 80s and 90s. Now, them union guys, they could join the union like he did, and they can leave the union. But he didn't leave. He stayed in there. He retired. He drew his union pension and all that. He had some good money afterwards. Good health benefits, everything else. But them states back there, you get up into Lincoln's day, and there was some real corruption before that. I've spoke about it. But you get into the Civil War years, and they got that Lincoln in there. Well, there was some corporation businesses they set up for the government. And let's see, there's one back there. That was a corporation thing they passed somehow. I forget how it was done. That made Washington, D.C. a city. So it's got a mayor and all that to it, because that's not legal under the Constitution. See, that's corruption. 10 miles square to be a seat of government. Well, you go through all that because there are 50 sovereign, independent, nation states. California, New York, Massachusetts, etc. Now that Newsom fella out there in California, he's proven the idea of that nation-state thing. He's got some of that screwball stuff going on. Well, that's fine for California. But it's not fine for my state, Arizona. It's not fine for Utah and all that. That's the way it's supposed to be. They set up all this stuff. Keep it in California. Keep it in Oregon. Keep it in Washington. You're an independent, sovereign nation state. You take care of your own business. You're in the Union for the sole purpose of being strong enough to have good trade relations all over the place and to defend our borders, our land, everything to do with the Union of States. See, we got no business being over in all these foreign countries doing all that stuff. These guys, they make all them treaties and everything with them places. Like that Korea, like that Vietnam, like that Kuwait. We got all these treaties all over the place with we'll take care of you boys. That deal over there in Ukraine. Now they got them toxic chemical plants of some kind over there. But that's all about a business. See all these things around the world and that. It's not really for protection of the United States. It's not for defense of our way of living, our government, our religions, because we've got every religion in the book in the United States. It's not about protecting all of that. It's all about that money, big money, power, glory, fame. That's what them guys back there, them politicians and other lawyers and all them businessmen are in them big high buildings. If you go back and you look, it's curious that Osama bin Laden, they say he was one of the big kingpin that planned that 9/11 attack back there. It took down the Twin Towers. Well, he was after the corporations, and that was corporate headquarters for all kinds of multinational corporations, international corporations and that were doing all kinds of stuff in different places. Now, did he attack the United States, or did they attack the corporations and the money deal and everything that was going on? It's always been a kind of a curious thing to me. That's like I can't figure out, I can't justify Korea. It don't make sense. Now, if that MacArthur wanted to go into China, go after them because they caused it, I guess, it would have been fine. Declare war, go after China. They didn't. It was a treaty. It was a police action. Vietnam was a treaty. The French got their butt kicked out. And we went in. Eisenhower made this wonderful treaty with them. And then Kennedy had it redone a little bit. And Johnson sent troops in. It was a police action. Kuwait was a police action. These things ain't right, because that is not upholding, defending the Constitution of the Union of States and the states and their sovereignty. Think about it. Look at that 13th, 16th, 17th, 14th. I don't remember what the 15th. The 18th Amendment. Well, that one was a real jewel, that prohibition. Was that constitutional? It came out of the Congress. Shouldn't it have been checked for constitutionality before it was put out to be ratified? How about them others? Check the way they were made during the Civil War, the 13th, 14th, 15th. You know, it's kind of interesting if you get to looking. Why was there this big corporation deal set up for the government when Lincoln was the president and the southern states had seceded? Why are we, if we're citizens of the United States, why can they call us corporate debt slaves? That don't make no sense to me, not reading the Constitution. Well, I'll have to think about it. I'll go do some more reading, but you think about it. You do some reading, do some studying, do some critical thinking. Pay attention to what they're making you do. I'll only bend my knee to my God. I don't bend my knee to any man. But I give my patriotic faith allegiance to the state of Arizona, and because I'm a citizen of Arizona, to the Union of States. Think about it. One nation under God? No. It's a union with 50 nation states under whatever authority they want to believe. Got it? Well, bless you all. I ask God to bless you. Have a good day. Talk again.